think I like this as much. Hi everybody, welcome to this channel if you're new, welcome back if you're not. My name is Catherine and Valentine's Day is right around the corner. And what better way to get into the Valentine's Day spirit than to read some romance books? Also because there's a romantic void that I need to fill because I do not have a Valentine's for Valentine's Day. Yeah, very sad, I know. But it's okay because we're gonna read some romance books. I've chosen 3 books to read for this reading vlog. I've chosen a young adult book on my Kindle, a new adult book which I have a physical copy of, and then a dark romance rom-com also on my Kindle. And I thought I'd start off with the young adult romance and then progress to the dark romance rom-com because once you see the books that I've chosen, you'll see how unhinged it progressively gets. So I thought it would be funny to just start off really lighthearted and then get to the dark romance and then just have a nice little laugh. For the young adult book, I have chosen I Hope This Doesn't Find You by Anne Liang. Now this book is an academic rivals to lovers, which I personally love. And it's kind of like To All the Boys, except instead of the main character writing letters to get over a crush that she had, this main character writes email drafts to people that have wronged her and to people that make her really angry. I think that's what it's about. And fun fact about me, I am a huge fan of Jenny Han. Literally 10 years ago, I met Jenny Han at a book convention, and I'm gonna insert a picture here because I love embarrassing myself. But I met her, and this is way before The Summer I Turned Pretty and any of Jenny Han's books blew up and, you know, became popular TV shows. So I just wanted to say that I was there first. With all of that being said, I have my Kindle here with me, and I have my coffee that I got from Dunkin' Donut and the brownie batter donut, which is, I think, a Valentine's Day exclusive. And I'm gonna eat and sip while I start reading this book. Also, I forgot to mention it, but this will be a semi-spoilers free vlog. I'm about 6% in, and let me tell you, the rivals are really rivaling, and I love it so much because I feel like a lot of these enemies to lovers or rivals to lovers, they say they're enemies and they say they're rivals, but they're not really like true enemies and true rivals. But this one does a very good job at representing academic rivals. Also, I fear that Sadie Wen, the main character, is a little bit too much like me, and let me read you a quote and you'll see why. It's embarrassing how tight I latch onto these pieces of validation, how much I want to be liked to make everyone happy. Okay, I've gotten to the part where the emails have gotten out, and let me tell you that I would be so embarrassed. I actually feel really bad for the main character because these emails have the right amount of passive aggressiveness, but also like calling people out. And I am definitely like Sadie in that I just don't like people thinking poorly of me, and it just would not be a good time for me. Let me just tell you that. Do not tell me that the best friend did it. There's this one scene in here where Sadie has asked a teacher to round up an 89.5 to a 90%, and let me tell you, that is completely valid. And I'm gonna go on a little tangent here that is not really related to books, but I think it's still important that you listen to anyways, because if you're still in school, whether that's high school or college or even middle school, if anybody in middle school is watching this video, do not be afraid to ask your teachers and to ask your professors to round up your grade or do an assignment to help your grade, because you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was in college, I was taking this sociology class, and I am personally not the best test taker. I know the material, but I don't know what happens when I'm taking the test. It does not go well. But after I took the sociology test, I was like, ooh, this is really bad. I emailed the professor and I was like, hello professor, I just took the final exam and I got this grade. I did not do too good on it, and I don't think this accurately represents the knowledge that I have in this class. Is there something I can do to make up for this final exam grade and to show how much I actually know in this class? I did something along the lines of that. And so then he emailed me back and he was like, yeah, you have 24 hours, write me an essay on this topic, blah, 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 blah. Did it, stayed up all night, wrote that essay, turned it in, got 100, and I got an A in that class. So this is just me saying that you have nothing to lose. The worst thing that they could say is no, but you have everything to gain, like a good grade. Sadie and Julius, the academic rivals, are working together. Guys, this is my jam. This is absolutely my jam. Let me paint a scene for you, okay? Sadie and Julius, academic rivals, they're forced to work together. On the walls, they see somebody scribble some vulgar thing about Sadie after these emails have been released. Julius catches this, and then he's like, oh, I recognize this handwriting. Next day, the guy whose handwriting it belongs to walks in with a bruise on his face. Coincidence? I think not. Oh my gosh. And the party. Oh my god. Oh, don't even get me started. Find yourself a Julius Gong, someone who stays at your house to help you clean up after a party even though you just got into a fight. I love this book. Also, you know what I'm not loving? This Dunkin'. It's been how many hours? It's been an hour and a half since I've sat in this position, and this is how much I've drank. I just don't think I like it. I've tried something new. I tried the iced coffee with the toasted white chocolate swirl. Now I usually get the caramel, and I don't think I like it. I like my things a lot more bitter. I feel like this is very milky. Also, this book is going by a lot faster than I thought. I'm already at 50%, and like I said, I was here for like, what, 2 hours? So I'm like speeding through this. You're the only person worth paying attention to. I'm in a parking garage right now waiting for some friends so we could do our lunch plans, but I'm reading this one scene. It is an athletics competition, and guys, he's like, you really don't get it, do you? And she's like, get it? What are you talking about? And he goes, screw the others. I don't care about them. I only care about, and then he cuts himself off. But we all know what he's going to say, and I just, gosh, I adore Julius so much. And it's not clicking for Sadie. He literally just offered to run 1,000 meters for her because she's feeling ill, and then he said that he would present her the medal that he'll win to her as a gift. Oh my gosh, Julius Gong, you are the standard. I love you. Of course, we can't even forget about the banter because he goes, wins the gold medal, and he's like, yours. And she's like, but you want it, you should keep it. And he rolls his eyes and he goes, I have so many of these lying around my house, I don't even have any room left. And she's like, okay, you're openly bragging right now. And he's like, I'm only speaking the truth. And he's like, just take it. Consider it compensation for all the awards I've taken from you. This banter is so good. I love it so much. It's very cute. Please someone read this so we could go talk about it together. I definitely need to start heading out soon, but I'm reading this one scene and I cannot stop giggling. It's because he's teasing her, and that's all the information I'm gonna give. You're gonna have to read the book and see what part I'm talking about. Him just showing up at the bakery, the canoe scene, her and James, it's just all so much for me. Actually, I take back what I said about the canoe scene. I clearly did not finish the full scene before I went and recorded that because I just finished the full scene and I'm upset. I wish that I had this camera recording when I read this one scene because guys, oh my gosh. I don't want to spoil by reading you the quote, but let me just tell you that this quote is so good. I love a good academic rivals to lovers. I just want to say that even though she literally sent him like what, 40 something hate emails, he has read and memorized every single one of them. Memorized word for word every single one of them because I'm willing to lose everything so long as I don't lose you. Don't you absolutely love it when the title of the book is somehow incorporated into the book itself? Guys, the last email that she sends him and then the email that he sends her, Sadie and Julius have my entire heart. And with that, I actually just finished the book and I'm gonna do a whole book review at the end when I finish all 3 books, but I just want to say that this book is for everybody who loves a good academic rivals to lovers and something like To All the Boys, and this is such a good book. It's making me very giddy, and so I'm gonna actually introduce you the next book that I'm going to be reading for this reading vlog. Okay, remember when I told you that the books I've chosen for this reading vlog would get progressively more and more unhinged as we go along? Let me show you the new adult book that I'll be reading. The next book that I'll be reading for this reading vlog is The Nanny by Lana Ferguson, and let me tell you why I thought this would be unhinged and why I thought it would be funny. It says, a woman discovers that the father of the child she is nannying may be her biggest only fan in the steamy contemporary romance. Long story short, she was unemployed, she got this job as a nanny. Turns out the father of this child used to be subscribed to her OnlyFans. You cannot tell me that that is not unhinged and funny. It is so unhinged and funny. Shout out to my friend, she actually chose this book in a little book exchange that we were doing. She's already annotated inside this book, so now I'm going to be reading it. I'll annotate inside this book and I'll send it back to her. Also, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I've been holding your book hostage for the past 7 months. Finally getting around to it. I thought it would be hilarious to read this for Valentine's Day. My camera rudely died on me before I could record myself reading the book, but I am in fact 25% in the book right now. And the main highlight that you need to know is that every single time Cassie opens her mouth, I get such secondhand embarrassment that my body has a reaction to it. And since I wasn't recording myself reading, I'm gonna give you a reenactment. Why is she so awkward? I physically have to put the book down and just give myself a moment to think. But other than that, I love Sophie, who's the daughter. I love Aiden, who is the love interest. Wanda's also pretty cool, and Iris is the bane of my existence. We've gotten to the first big turning point where Cassie finally realizes that Aiden is not really the stranger that she thought he was. And let me tell you, all I have to say is wow. Usually I don't really read any like single parent or nanny or like pregnancy trope. They're usually not for me. But tell me why I'm absolutely loving this. Cassie and Sophie, they're adorable. Aiden and Sophie, they're adorable. I hit the first spicy scene and all I have to say is that she is lucky she kept her shirt on. You know what? Claps for Iris because she is finally apologizing, as she should, because she was getting on my last nerve. I swear that someone really needs to remove her Snapple from her because she is getting out of hand with these facts. I am so tired of the Bruno and Encanto references inside this book. I think I've already seen the entire movie and I actually have never seen it. Good morning and happy Valentine's Day. I'm up bright and early today because I have to go into office and it's an hour commute into the city, which I know I'm actually really tired, but it's okay because I spent my night reading The Nanny and I'm about under 70 or maybe 65%, and the big reveal is about to happen, and let me tell you, it's long overdue. Like, she kept holding it off and I was like, girl, you gotta tell him. But anyways, I'm at that part. I wish I gave you more updates, but I'm gonna be honest, there's not a lot of updates I could give because so far it's just been pure spice, no plot. Like, I swear I flipped the chapters and there are more spicy scenes than there are plot scenes. But anyways, I'm gonna read more when I get home, but I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. By the time you see this, it's gonna be way past Valentine's Day, but still sending you lots of love and lots of joy nevertheless. Okay, I should probably get to work.
Silver line trains are operating between Ashburn and McPherson Square due to a signal problem outside La Vente Plaza.
I am so tired. It's currently 6:20 and I just got back from the metro. I'm in my car right now. I'm gonna drive home so that I can go ahead and read my book because what else am I gonna do on Valentine's Day? I did not do any reading yesterday, so I'm gonna pick up where I left off. And all I want to say is that Aiden is such a golden retriever guy. Like, I genuinely do not think that he's going to be mad. I don't know why Cassie is so freaked out. Like, I don't know. Okay, so Cassie is notorious for telling fun facts that she reads off of Snapple lids. And there's one where she goes, did you know that on average, women's hearts beat faster than men's? And then Aiden goes, Snapple just hasn't ever heard mine when I'm touching you. Someone just had a heart attack. Now this is the type of angst I signed up for because he's so desperate for her to stay. Okay, I am not trying to be an Iris defender, but at the same time, I see where she's coming from. Can you imagine a 10-year-old taking an Uber by herself? Like, I can't even take an Uber by myself and I'm like twice her age. This ending makes me feel so single. It is so cute, and let me just say that I've really grown to like the whole single parent trope. This is so cute. And just like that, I finished The Nanny by Lana Ferguson, and I'm not gonna read the dark romance rom-com until tomorrow, but like I said, book reviews will be at the very end, but just know that this book was very cute. I liked it. Now that we have finished the young adult romance and the new adult romance, it is time to read the dark romance rom-com, aka the book that I've been waiting to read, and it is The Butcher and the Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. This book received such high ratings on Goodreads, and I heard it's completely unhinged, which is what I was going for. It is about two serial killers, Sloane and Rowan, who hunt other serial killers, and when they cross paths, they form this annual competition to basically hunt a selected serial killer. Like, you cannot tell me that that is not completely unhinged. A lot of people who read this said it was really funny and they loved the main character, so obviously I had to try it out. So without further ado, let's go read The Butcher and the Blackbird. I just hit the content and trigger warning page, and usually I skip this part because I personally have a really high tolerance when it comes to reading these things, but let me read you this entire list. Eyeballs and eye sockets, amateur surgery, skin ornaments, chainsaw, axes, knives, scalpels, a lot of sharp objects, accidental cannibalism, not so accidental cannibalism, questionable use of mummified corpse, lobotomized manservant, ill-advised use of kitchen implements. I'm sorry about the cookies and cream ice cream. I'm not really. Detailed sex scenes which include... Actually, I'm not going to read through that. You can read through that yourself. References to parental neglect and child abuse, parental loss not depicted, references to child sexual assault not in detail. It's a book about serial killers, so there's some generally messed up murder and chaos. Guys, please, their first interaction and they're bonding over their serial killer names. They just agreed to their annual competition. Also, guys, you could tell that Rowan is hooked to Sloane, like from the very beginning. This is a serial killer book. Of course, there's going to be a tending wounds trope. 3 and Coach, the restaurant name. Let me paint a picture for you, okay? He flies to wherever she lives. He's hiding behind a tree right now. He pays a kid to go deliver food to her house, and she brings it in and she's like, oh, what are these like ingredients? Basically, they call each other over the phone and he's like, I'm cooking with you. He is cooking with her over the phone, telling her what to do because he's a chef, he's a restaurant owner, and he knows how to cook and she does not know how to cook. He's literally hiding behind a tree and just giving her instructions and basically stalking her, and it should not be romantic, but it is romantic. You're my friend. Maybe someday my best friend. Guys, he's been doing this for multiple days. Hiding behind a tree and delivering her food and calling her on the phone to tell her how to prep all the ingredients and cook the meal. Oh my gosh. You know what I find so funny? Out of the 3 books that I've read so far, Rowan, the serial, unaliver, has the most golden retriever energy. Like, he is such a golden retriever man. And he's just so obsessed with Sloane, and I'm here for it. Number 1, how can you kiss right now when there's a literal serial killer chasing after you guys? And number 2, how they have not gotten caught yet is beyond me. Rose playing wing woman and forcing them to have that one bed trope. I love her so much. And let me just say that the author is absolutely feeding us. Look, the one bed trope, the tending wounds trope, the trope where he is helping her into the bath, and let me tell you, there is such good banter in that scene. It got dirty so fast, and I was not expecting that. If I had to tell you a list of the top used phrases or words in this book, it would be pretty boy, you're the worst, blackbird, and butcher. I can't even count the amount of times those phrases have been used, especially pretty boy and especially you're the worst. You know how I told you that he's a restaurant owner? He has a booth permanently reserved for her. A permanent reservation for her. I'm so unwell. He has a new restaurant, and the name that he chose for the new restaurant. I'm at 80% right now, and they're happy and thriving. Something bad's gonna happen. We have 20% left. Something bad is going to happen. I was right. This took a turn that I was not expecting. You know, my heartstrings are really being tugged at right now. On a side note, I hope that this kitchen is being thoroughly disinfected. Because I'm sure that this would be a big health hazard. I just finished Butcher and Blackbird, and let me just say that I enjoyed this book so much. For some reason, it is making me want to reread Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas. I'm not really sure why, but since it's 1:30 in the morning right now, I will do all of my book reviews tomorrow morning. All I want to say is that I had a very successful Valentine's Day reading. Like, I enjoyed all of the books that I read, and I just can't wait to talk about it tomorrow. Before we get into the book reviews, I just want to give a warning that I always give every single time I do a reading vlog, and it is that everything I say is just my opinion. Please take it with a grain of salt. I may like something that you dislike or dislike something you like. Like I said, it's just my opinion. I thought we'd start off by doing a quick recap of all the books that I read. So starting off, we have The Young Adult, I Hope This Doesn't Find You by Anne Liang. It's about 2 academic rivals to lovers where one of them sends out a bunch of hate emails to everybody that has wronged her. Then we have the new adult romance, The Nanny by Lana Ferguson, and this is about a woman who takes up a nanny position for a single dad and his daughter, and plot twist, the dad used to be subscribed to her OnlyFans. And then last but not least, we have the dark romance rom-com, Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver, and it's about 2 serial killers who hunt other serial killers who form an annual competition to hunt a selected serial killer. So like I said, it just gets more unhinged as we go along. Starting off with I Hope This Doesn't Find You by Anne Liang, I rated this a 5 out of 5. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and this book is something that I would definitely recommend to others, especially if you're looking for something lighthearted and cute and fluffy. I am a sucker for anything academic rivals to lovers and Jenny Han's To All the Boys, and this matches those two together so perfectly. And I also think that I related to Sadie a little too much, which is why I was able to connect with this book a lot. And Julius, don't even get me started. He is such a cute love interest. So overall, 5 out of 5. Then we have The Nanny by Lana Ferguson, and I rated this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I'm not saying that it was bad, it just wasn't for me. I just feel like it lacked that conflict and angst, and there were a lot more spice scenes than there was plot. Which also leads into my apology, because I realized that I don't think I got a lot of footage of me reading The Nanny, and I think it was because 1, I was kind of busy at work, and 2, like I said, there were just a lot of spice scenes and I just couldn't really comment on them and pick up the camera and record. So I apologize if there's not a lot of footage of me reading The Nanny. But like I said, there were a lot of spice scenes in here, and it was just hard for me to comment on because after a while it kind of got repetitive. It lacked that conflict and angst that I was looking for, and it didn't really pick up until the end. Like, the whole middle chunk was just spice. And if that's for you, that is perfectly okay. I just wish that there was something more. As for the characters, I loved Aiden and I loved Sophie. Cassie, not too much. I think it's just because she gave me such secondhand embarrassment that every single time I read read it, I just had to put the book down. The writing was also really easy to follow, so I don't regret reading this, but I just don't think that it would be at the top of my list of recommendations to others. And then moving on to the dark romance rom-com, Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. I rated this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I thought it was very entertaining. It really puts the com in rom-com. Just the idea of it, like two serial killers who form an annual competition to hunt another serial killer. I just thought that was so funny. And surprisingly, this had less spice than The Nanny, but the spice scenes that it did have was like, oh my god. I love Sloane and Rowan's dynamic, and I had a really fun time reading about their annual competition, but I will admit that I did have to put down the book at certain times just to take a moment to collect myself, because it is a book about serial killers. You're gonna, you know, face some serial killing, and anything involving cannibalism, I gagged. I just couldn't. But other than that, I had a very fun time reading it. It's very fast-paced, really easy to read. And don't even get me started on Rowan. I think out of all 3 books, Rowan might be my absolute favorite. This book is very, very unhinged, but that's what makes it so fun. This book is definitely something that I would recommend if you are looking for a dark romance and you want that rom-com aspect to it. I'm very glad I read it, so 4.5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I think that this reading vlog was very successful. I enjoyed all of the books that I read, and it definitely fulfilled that romance void that I was looking to fill because of Valentine's Day. I just had a fun time reading all of these books. With all of that being said, I'm gonna close out the reading vlog now. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Just know I appreciate you so much. All of my socials will be linked down below. If you read any of these books, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I want to hear your thoughts and opinions as well. And if there's anything that you want to see from me, definitely let me know too. I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are, and I hope to see you in the next video.